Yo guys, welcome back to the Uncle Sharma channel. You know what time it is. It's that time, Inter versus AC Milan, Derby della Madonnina, the game that every single Inter and AC Milan fan waits for twice a year. And let's get into the preview. As we know guys, both teams are polar opposites at the moment in terms of where they are on the table. Inter obviously was second, everything, feeling good, positive. Antonio Conte's army, swooning, everything feeling good. On the other hand, our cousins on the other side, not feeling so good in 9th position, minus 19. I mean, it's like Siberia down there, must be cold. Need to get some puffer jackets down there because you're very, very far away. But even though there's so much difference between the teams, even player-wise, we're superior in pretty much every category at the moment. It's still an exciting match, still a match that I'm looking forward to watching. You can see Inter's form this season has been absolutely astounding. 15 wins, 6 draws and 1 loss. Whatever I say about Antonio Conte is not enough what he's done with his team. On the other hand, AC Milan, that's embarrassing. 9 wins, 8 losses. They're almost as many losses as wins and 5 draws as well. Averaging 1.45 points per game compared to Inter's 2.32, which is, an abyss of a gap there. But, the recent form has improved for Milan, and you could say that going into this match, they're in better form than Inter and, feeling a bit more positive than us because Inter coming off the back of 3 draws and 2 wins in the last 5 matches, whereas AC Milan are coming off 3 wins and 2 draws. And in general, ever since the January transfer window, since Zlatan's come in, changed everything up. Pioli's given the team a bit of an identity. They've played this 4-4-2 formation, where they create lots of chances and they seem to have a bit of solidity about them. They seem to have a style of play which wasn't the case before early in the season. So all in all, they could be coming in with a lot more positivity than Inter, because even though we haven't lost since that Juve match, these draws have been kind of stopping us getting going, and these injuries, and we've not been playing exactly brilliantly. So it's not as clear and cut as many people may think. As I said, obviously Zlatan's come in to the AC Milan team, changed things up. Zlatan doing Zlatan things. He's 38, but still, he's still that same guy. Very driven, exceptional professional. At 38 years old, he's in better shape than a lot of footballers out there. So you should never doubt him. I wanted him at Inter as a backup to Lukaku. But AC Milan, I think, did a great move when they signed him, even though his age is what it is. But he will be a guy to watch out, obviously. Since he's come in, the main tactic has become, the long ball and inshallah, long ball to Zlatan and inshallah. And, you can't blame him. That's what he's good at. He brings the ball down, brings the players into the play. He might not always be at the end of the crosses and play himself, but he's a complete forward. He can create and also score. In terms of squad news, as we know, Lautaro is out. He is going to be a massive miss. I think him and Lukaku have pretty much carried the team on their backs for most of this season. Without them, this team relies so much on them doing so much dirty work and then creating chances for each other and for other teammates. They do so much. It's crazy. We rely so much on them, and yeah, he's going to be a massive miss to Lukaku next to him. And we don't really have an out-and-out replacement for Lautaro. Sanchez can come in and do a job. Obviously, he's not been in the greatest form the last 2 or 3 years, really. It's Fiorentina as well, maybe not so much, but he's still a quality player. Technically, he's still a good player. And when these big matches come at the San Siro, it's going to be a packed stadium. And a world-class player like Sanchez used to be, he could rise up to the occasion. So don't count Alexis Sanchez out. Apparently Lautaro felt bad for his silly red card. It was a silly red card. It's something that he has to get out of his system, this anger issue that he seems to have, or he's very petulant at times, and apparently he sent gifts to the whole team today, sent them all maxi size TVs apparently. So shout out to Lautaro for recognizing his mistake and trying to make up for his team, which shows the harmony in this team as well. Obviously, the other massive miss is Samir Handanovic. It's still we're not sure if he's going to play or not, but most likely he will be on the bench because he has a hairline fracture on his little finger. So it's likely that Padelli will start again. And he didn't do too badly against the Udinese. He had a couple of decent saves that he made. Obviously, at some points he looked a bit rusty and could have caught the ball and stuff. But the guy hasn't played a Serie A match in like 2 or 3 years, and he hardly ever plays even in the cup, because even in the cup, Conte's been opting for Handanovic. But I have faith in Padelli. I think he's a good quality backup. hopefully he doesn't have too much to do. Another player who is out is Gagliardini. He has got a bit of an issue as well, but he has been in and out of the team anyway, so just like Borja Valero, who's also said to be out for this match, but both of them, I think there would have been a bench option. But it does mean that our midfield is a little bit thin. It means that we don't have as many options on the bench to bring on, which can be an issue, and we've seen it has been an issue this season when the team is tiring towards the end of the second half and Conte doesn't have any changes to make, or he chooses to make it a bit too late. However, Sensi should be able to play some sort of part in this match. He should be on the bench. He probably won't be able to start. He keeps having these reoccurring muscular issues. My midget king came in and was like the most important player, best player for Inter the first month or two, and then ever since that injury he got against Juve, it just hasn't got going again. But hopefully he's put the worst of his injury issues behind him. Hopefully the backroom staff have understood that this guy can't take the same amount of training load as the other players, and he needs to have something maybe a bit more personalized where his little muscles are not as stretched as everyone else's. But looking forward to having him as an option to come on in the second half, which is a dangerous option for sure. In terms of the tactical preview, both managers actually have tried something different in the week, according to the reports from the usual formations. We know Conte is a 3-5-2 or death, and there's nothing else, but apparently he's even thinking of switching to a 3-4-2-1 formation, which is a formation that he played at Chelsea, obviously with the completely different players. But because of the injury issues, he's thinking of deploying Eriksen and Sanchez in behind Lukaku, which could be an interesting option, and also allows us to pack the midfield, because obviously Eriksen is someone who's not really a second striker. He'll like to come deeper and get the ball, and Sanchez as well, compared to Lautaro, he likes to come deeper. So almost a 3-6-1 formation probably when we're defending, packing that midfield. And AC Milan are looking to do something similar, straying slightly from their 4-4-2 formation to a 4-4-1-1, apparently, with Hakan Çalhanoğlu in behind the striker, whoever it is. Ibrahimovic is a slight doubt for the match because they're saying that he's got a bit of an illness, but Zlatan ain't going to be stopped by flu, man. This guy's going to play. He's even if he's like 50% fit, or unless Leao plays, it will be a bit more of a mobile option, or even Rebic, who's come into good form. But it'll be interesting to see what they opt with. But I do see Pioli going with that 4-4-1-1 just because I think both teams would try not to lose. With derbies, it always becomes a case of trying not to lose, especially when Milan are so far behind. They don't want to be embarrassed. And I don't think Pioli would want to go all out with that 4-4-2 formation. It makes sense. Even the 3-4-2-1 for Conte makes sense to try to pack that midfield. 3-4-1-2 that we tried last week didn't quite work. Eriksen is still getting used to the team and the movements and how he needs to press and how he needs to move and find space. So he needs time. I'm not expecting great performances from Eriksen in the next few weeks. Still, it's a completely different league, completely different team, so I wouldn't put such high expectations for him yet. Obviously, the midfield, as I said, the midfield battle will be the key in this match if both teams are looking to pack the midfield. Bennacer and Kessie are most likely to start for AC in that midfield. Obviously, if Çalhanoğlu tucks in as well, with Bonaventura on the left, who will also tuck in as well, it'll be a big midfield battle. But I reckon Inter with Brozovic, Barella, Vecino should be able to get that midfield battle won. That's a better midfield than the AC's, and I have no doubts about us winning the midfield battle. But on the wings is where I'm slightly concerned with Theo Hernandez. I think he is their biggest threat. Obviously, he's the top scorer, which, a left back being your top scorer is kind of embarrassing. It was Piontek until he left the other week, but a left back, bro. And he's only just come in this summer, but what a signing he has been. Theo Hernandez under Antonio Conte next season. I would love to see that. But yeah, as I was saying, he's attacking wise, he's a force. He's really good at carrying the ball, powerfully running with the ball, crossing, shooting from distance as well. He creates so many chances for them, but he also leaves a lot of space in behind, which could be exploited by whoever plays in that role just in behind Lukaku, whether it's Eriksen on the right or Sanchez on the left. Someone that moves into that space that Hernandez likes to leave, and they have conceded like 2 or 3 goals this season, which I remember clearly from Hernandez leaving that gap. Inter Godin is more likely to start, I think, over Bastoni, just because the experience, the big match experience, and last match he had Leao on locks. So I know people might be scared of that pace against the Godin, but the guy knows what he's doing, guys. Trust Diogo Godin. So the predictor starting lineup for me is, it's not really hard to predict. Godin, De Vrij, and Skriniar. Obviously, Skriniar on that left-hand side is not my ideal choice, but it looks like it will be like that. I think Young will retain his place at left wing back. His last 2 or 3 matches have been great. He's shown that he's currently better than Biragi, so I think he'll retain that spot. I'll be surprised to see Biragi start ahead of Young. On the other wing, though, that's where some of the doubts are for me. Candreva, obviously, I think he will be the favourite. Antonio Conte loves him. He's done a good job this season. But, with Theo Hernandez's attacking prowess and, Candreva, his defending is not his strongest point. So that could be an interesting decision between him or D'Ambrosio, who's come back from injury. D'Ambrosio, that guy, his defending is his strong part. His attacking is his weaker part. But, that could be an interesting choice to see which way Conte goes. I don't think Moses will play. We saw last week he was struggling against Udinese when they were targeting him 1v1. So I don't think he's ready yet to start. Midfield, as I said, Barella, Brozovic and Vecino. And then up front it will be Lukaku with Eriksen and Sanchez in behind. But we'll see. You never know with Antonio Conte. Could come up with some new masterclass idea that we didn't think of. And my prediction for the match is a 2-2 draw, actually, guys. With the derbies, I feel actually a 1-1 draw, because I feel like Milan will try to play for the draw, really. I don't think they'll try to go all out. I think they'll keep it safe. I think Inter and Conte will do the same. I don't think we'll try to expose ourselves too much, although we do need the 3 points really badly to keep up with Juve. Form doesn't really come into these things. Milan in the last derby were pretty embarrassing. Like, it was one of the most one-sided derbies I ever remember under Gianpaolo, but it should be a different story under Pioli. I'm looking forward to the match. Let me know in the comments below, what are your predictions and who would you start? Instead of Lautaro, would you go for that Eriksen, Sanchez option, or would you continue with the 3-5-2 with Sanchez or even Esposito? I didn't mention him. I don't really see him starting in this match, but he could be an option. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a like for the derby. Leave a like if you think Inter going to win. Leave a like if you think Milan are going to win. Leave a like in any win. And I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.